Hey guys, Eric at SideQuest Comics, and well, it's been a little while since I've been to this haunt. This is the Comic Buying Center in Libertyville, Illinois. This is the place that's gotta have the most dollar comics I've ever seen. At the end of the month, they lowered their $2 books to $1. And I wanted to stop in here and, well, look for some things. It's the end of the month. All the $2 books are $1. They do have their back room where they have the wall books, $5 books, $10 books, and they do have a sale coming up for Black Friday. So I was kind of getting a little early scope out of the place. But let's head inside and see if I can find some Christmas cover comics, some treasuries, and maybe some other fun stuff like old magazines, and maybe even a 10 for 10. We'll see. So let's head inside and see what we can find in the buying center.
go. Let's go see if we can do that really quick. Okay.
Well, as you guys can see, it is dark. The store closed. I closed them down, but I did find, as you can see, some cool stuff. I'm actually standing in the doorway to get some light because it's so dark already. But let's head back. I'll show you some of the stuff I got digging. I found some cool, interesting stuff for the holiday season and some stuff to fill some holes. So let's head back home. All right, guys, it is starting to get into the Christmas holiday season. And as you can see from behind me, what is a holiday season without some big sales? So, yes, that was some footage from one of my favorite places to visit. I don't get to very often, and that is the Comic Buying Center in Libertyville, Illinois. And what's so special is that they were having a huge Black Saturday sale where everything was 20% off. And I mean everything. There are books that were already marked down to $1. There are back stock that was $5, $10, $20. And even some of their wall books, their videos, their card stuff, the video game stuff they have, everything was 20% off. So they were very busy that day, to say the least. And I ended up getting a lot more than I thought I would. Go figure, guys. And in this video, what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut this down a little bit so I'm not showing you like 50 books. I'm just going to show you some of the highlights because I did find a lot of like run fillers and stuff like that, and just stuff that's not normally, things that I think I would normally pick up. I got them because they were cool type of thing, and with the sale, it's like, yeah, I'm going to give this a try. But I did end up kind of switching a little bit, but I wanted to show some of these highlight books that I got. But I switched to where I did end up doing a 10 for 10. So I'm, instead of splitting this all up into different videos, I'm just going to make it kind of a big one, group it all together, and try to run through it fairly quick so it's not a super long video for you guys. But yeah, this sale was fantastic. A lot of people were taking part in it. And I really hope that they do more sales like this, in the summer, maybe a 4th of July sale or a Labor Day sale or, something like that, veteran sale, some kind of special event, do some more sales of this. Cause I know they have thousands and thousands and thousands of, stock at this place. So it's a good way for people to get some cool books that they're looking for, or even just like graphic novels or videos, whatever. This place basically has a lot of stuff for collectors. And unfortunately, I like collecting a lot of stuff. So I do partake and fill a long box fairly easy there. So, but I want to, like I said, just show off some key highlight stuff real quick. And then we're going to jump into a 10 for 10, which is kind of originally what I wanted to do going there. But yeah, you always find more stuff. So let's go ahead. And with our first stack, what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you some of the bigger things that I found, and we're going to go table down so we can get a good look at it. All right, guys, I got some large stacks here I want to run through with you, and I'll try to go pretty quick. And let's start with some of the large format ones I got here. And this is a big reason why I went there, was to hunt for some Savage Sword of Conan. I'm really digging these old magazine formats from the 70s, and this one I found, and this one is a Savage Sword of Conan special #1 from 1975 with a cool cover by Barda. That is it's kind of, I guess you consider this like an annual. So I've never seen this before. Once I looked it up, I was like, oh, it's kind of like an annual, so I had to get this one. And then on top of it, like I said, I went looking for Conan. I found this kind of cool thing that is basically a magazine-sized adaptation of the movie Red Sonja. Now, this one was the Marvel Comics Super Special, I guess is what it's called. This is number 38. out of the series. Came out in 1985, shortly after the movie came out. And this kind of goes along with some of the other ones that I found earlier at this location. Was I found Conan the Barbarian, the movie adaptation, and also Destroyer. So, of course, when I saw Red Sonja, I had to complete the trilogy in the movies and get this one. So, they're very cool to add to the collection. Okay, guys, and like I said, I went there not only looking for the old magazines, but treasuries. So let me see if I can fit this one all in here. I found this treasury in the big boxes, as you saw in some of the videos I was digging through. But this is Christmas with the Superheroes. It's a limited collector's edition from 1975, and this is number 34 that DC put out with a cool cover by Nick Cardy. And basically, these were just kind of like large format reprints of old stories that either took place during Christmas, were Christmas stories. There's a couple stories in here. I'm looking for the regular issues, but now I have it. I can actually read it. It's a Teen Titan one in here, but there's a cool Batman story in here also, and some other older stuff like Shazam stories. So very cool. I ended up only paying like $10 for this, so it was very cool to have this big, large format. And then I also found some Marvel ones. So I found this one. It's a Marvel Treasury Edition. This is a special, number 1, came out in 1974. And it's giant superhero holiday grab bag. So very similar. It's kind of reprints some stories that were Christmas related, but in the Marvel universe. And this actually has kind of a cool cover on the back. And I think they just did kind of a homage to this cover. But let me show you the back real quick. Okay, so here's the front, and yeah, a lot of people don't realize the back, they have stuff on there too. So you can see kind of, they got the Hulk, Captain America, the Thing, they're all carrying stuff behind their back. Like the Hulk's smashing his present, and the Cap, he's, who is it? No, it's the Thing actually that has another gift. So yeah, they kind of snuck some stuff in there, which is kind of cool. And and then the next one I got also a Marvel one. This was from that regular Treasury edition, even though it looks like the special. But this number 13 came out in 76. And I mean, these, like I said, they're reprints. So this one has like artists in here by like Gil Kane, Gene Colan, John Buscema. And this one's also has a cool back. So let me pause again and show you the back of this one. Okay, so there's the front, guys, and the back. So this one I featured just recently on my Instagram account. I tried to show off the cool cover that they have on here. But yeah, very cool. Like, it makes you kind of feel like a kid holding these big old comic books. So very cool addition to the collection. I've been really trying to here and there pick up these Marvel Treasury editions when I see them locally, because I can imagine when you buy these online or whatever, the shipping is pretty bad. So let's go to one more big one that I got. So the last big one I got, the graphic novels were on sale, and I actually saw this one sitting on the side, and I asked them. I mean, this is a coffee table book that came out 2018, and what this is it's the Mythology Alex Ross artwork from the DC Comics that he did. I think there was Kingdom Come in here, and just it's pretty cool. It shows kind of his process in here. But yeah, this was a coffee table book for $35. It was $5, guys, so I couldn't pass this up. I mean, yeah, it's got a lot of his artwork, which is kind of cool. I think there's a section in here. He had those prints that he did. It breaks down like the different heroes and how, I think they show some of his process in here. Let me pause it and see if I can find that process. All right, it took me a while to find it, guys, but I want to show this because I thought this was really cool. It shows his sketches and his reference photos that he takes, and then his process of working through them. He draws it out, and then look at that, he starts to paint it and stuff. Very cool book, you guys, that if you guys ever come across this, pick it up. It's really interesting to see. I know he has a couple other books that are out there that shows all his works like this. Yeah, I mean, it's like I don't have a lot of these prints. I don't think I have any of them. I got some of his Marvel ones of Wolverine and Colossus, but this is just neat to see it collected in this kind of format. So yeah, this was a B cover. So this is out there. There's another cover, you know, and of one of the fold outs they have in here. So yeah, pick this up if you see it. It's very cool to have and add to the collection. All right, guys. So that was some of the big stuff that I got. I originally went there to get some of those treasuries and some of those old Conans because I love the big magazine format anymore. But I did get some key books that I want to go over with you guys. Now, these are a couple different things. There's some dollar books in here. There's some $5 books, $10 books, but a lot of these books have been on my wish list type of thing. And some of them I just happen to, you know, a lot of this stuff I looked down and said, like through a box, and it's like, oh, look at that, and ended up getting them. So let's go ahead and we'll go down to tabletop down and get a closer look at these ones. All right, guys, so that was the big format. Let's take a look at some of the regular formatted stuff I got. And these range from all over from dollar books, which is what this one is, to like $5 and $10, and eventually my big books that I got. So this one is one of the ones I just happened to look down and see it in the dollar bins, but it is Superman 287, came out in 75. I got this because I thought it was it reminded me of the race issue that Superman did with Flash, but it's with Crypto. So if Crypto's on it, I've been getting, you know, kind of questing out these DC Super Animals comics lately. And this one I saw for $1. I'm going to grab it. Then next up, another one that I just happened to find looking down, and it's the Fantastic Four Chronicles. This is by Fanco. This is number 2. Came out in 82 with a cool cover by John Byrne. And if you guys aren't familiar with this, it's a magazine format with articles and interviews and stuff like that. The first one that they did was the X-Men Chronicles, which I know some people are very familiar with this one. And then recently, I also found this Spider-Man one. I think there's one more out there I got to get. It's a Daredevil one, I believe. So yeah, this was kind of cool to add to the collection. And like I said, for $1, you can't beat that. Next up, I actually went through some of the kid comics they have there, and I found not only a Christmas one, it's a Heathcliff one that I just featured on my Instagram channel for covers, Christmas covers, but this one, Green Lantern, the animated series, number 1 that came out in 2012, kind of in line with the TV series that came on. I think it was only 2 seasons, the TV show. And there was only 14 issues for this, but I actually like the cartoon, and I am a Green Lantern fan. So finding this, I was like, oh, that's cool for the Green Lantern collection. And I think this one was in the back room where they have some of their more, not their dollar books, their pricier books or whatever. And it was only $2. So, I mean, it's not much of a difference. And then you could keep in mind, they had that sale too. All right, so we're steadily going up, and here is more Conan that I was going for. They have a pretty good collection of Conan, and I am still working on closing a run. So this is Conan number 5, and I also got number 8. So these are 2 books that I needed to finish off a run I have going up to 176. I still need 7, 9, and 15 to complete that run. But yeah, for $10, these were part of the $10 pile. I had to add them to them. I mean, they're fairly good shape. Both of these came out in 1971, the beginning of the Conan the Barbarian series, written by Roy Thomas, and both of these are done by Barry Windsor Smith, which I'm a fan of his work. It was early in his career he started on Conan. So yeah, I'm happy to add these in. And like I said, I need 3 more to finish that big old run. And then I can concentrate on the later part of the series, the 80s and 90s. Doing some more digging, I found this book that's been on my wish list for a while. It's Early Teen Titans. This is number 43 that came out my birth month. So this is a birthday book for me. Came out in 1973. Yes, I am old, guys. This is awesome cover by Nick Cardy. So yeah, I did a video not that long ago. I think it was in the summer I did it. of birthday books. So it's kind of a neat quest that you guys can do is look up online what books came out during your birth month. You just have to be tricky. You just have to be careful when it was printed and when it was released type of thing. So back in the day when we're printing these, I had to be a little bit more careful about what ones I was picking for birthday books. So yeah, Teen Titans number 43 added to my birthday collection. And then here's a book that I don't know why this is kind of a big book sometimes, but I found it for $10. This is number 1 of Sleepwalker, classic 90s stuff where they're trying stuff out. And it came out in 1991. So this is the first appearance of Sleepwalker and the first cameo of 8-Ball, the villain. So yeah, I usually see these for anywhere to $20 to $30. So to find it for $10, I'm going to grab it because, it's something to have in the collection. I've been trying to track down some of those 90s books that I just missed out on, and this is one of them. I don't think I need any more of this series. I'm happy with just number 1. I read it. It's okay. It's 90s. So Sleepwalker number 1, very cool addition. And then another big reason I went there was to hunt for Submariners. So this is Submariner number 1. This is Submariner Volume 1. And this is actually number 2. So this is actually the earliest Submariner I have now from that first volume. And this came out in 1968. Now, I got a bunch of Submariners there. I love Roy Thomas and John Buscema art on this series. And I have lots of holes in this series still. So, and I know the Comic Buying Center has a lot in their back stock. So I did get a lot of Submariners. They're all like between $5 to $10. So it's hard not to. But I am going to just show you some of the highlights that I got. And these are going to be like classic battles of Namor against other Marvel characters. So this one, like I said, number 2, 1968. And this is first crossover with the Inhumans, where he's fighting Triton, who is their aqua, water character. And then on top of that one, I found number 4. So number 4, 1968 also. Very cool Buscema artwork there. And then another classic battle here. We got number 59. Came out in 1972. So it's a little bit later. And this one I like because he's fighting Thor. That's kind of a classic battle, right? With Thor. And I believe this is Bill Everett that did the art on this one. And then to end this up, this was the start of my 2 big books. And this is Submariner was one of them. I got number 8. Now this one's a big one. Look at it. It's a black cover. And I think I lucked out and it doesn't have a whole lot of spine ticks. But I got this one, classic battle with him and the Thing. So, this came out. Number 8 came out in 1968 and also by Buscema. So then next up on my last one for big books was this one. It's been eluding me for a while. And this is X-Men number 66. Came out in 1970. So yeah, I've been trying to get a nice copy of this for a while, and I usually find it with stains or something in it. Now this one is pretty nice copy. And with the sale, it was an easy decision. Let's finally pull the trigger and get this one. And this is the final appearance of the original X-Men before they went into reprints. Now 66 came out in 1970, and it's written by Roy Thomas and an awesome cover by Marie Severin. So very cool one to finally have in my collection before they started the reprints. So I'm slowly, chipping away at the X-Men. I just have to give those under 94 issues. I have a lot of holes, and the lower you go, the harder it is to find them and the prices they are. So there was my digging book. So I got one last category I want to show you guys today. So let's check that out. Okay, now that you guys have seen those books, finally we have one of the main reasons I went there, because this place at the end of the month always lowers their $2 books to $1 books. And then on top of having their 20% off Black Saturday sale, they're reduced even more. But I'm just going to keep it simple and say 10 for 10 type of thing. So we have $10 books that I want to show you guys what I found just really quickly digging through just a couple long boxes. I ended up finding 10 books pretty quickly here. So let's go take a look at these ones closer. All right, guys, last little category I want to do with you guys today on this Black Saturday haul is my 10 for 10 that I got at the Comic Buying Center. Now, let's start off with my honorable mentions. I did pick up a couple runs there for $1, and one of the honorable mentions is Conan. I am a big Conan. I've been showing a lot of Conan today. This is from his regular series, Conan the Barbarian, 124, 1981. I basically got a couple of these to fill a run out, so I can get, finish that. I think I have 176 down. There's a couple holes. This was one of them, with awesome art by John Buscema. And at this point, he was writing the series. So a lot of those early 80s, John Buscema was doing both the writing, art, plot, stuff like that, inking. He was kind of doing a little bit of everything in this series. So this was my first honorable mention. And then another series that I've been collecting, I found a couple in the bins, is Firestorm. This is his third volume. Number 15 came out in 2005, and Matt Haley did the art on this. I need 4 more for this series. I love Matt's painterly style covers that he did. This one really jumped out with me. The skull kind of reminds me of Ghost Rider a little bit, even though it's DC. But I've always had a soft spot for Firestorm since the late 70s. I think it was an old cartoon. Firestorm was fairly new at that time, and he was in that cartoon. So I always thought it was neat, the Nuclear Man. So those are my 2 honorable mentions. But let's jump right off to the 10 for 10. And yeah, those are the 2 that I wanted to mention, but they didn't make the 10 cut. This one did, though. It's a Moon Knight number 8, volume 6. This came out 2011. Now, I think I found most of these already. I think I need 1 or 2 of this volume. And what's kind of cool, this art is by Alex Malev, and Brian Michael Bendis is the writer on this series. And this series is, I think, kind of responsible for really pushing the fact that Mark Spector has a multiple personality disorder. That's what I think a lot of this series was about. It involves his membership in the Avengers and stuff. And like I said, the artist Alex Malev, look at this art. This art is really cool. It's a painterly type of art. This whole series, check out these covers. They're really neat. It wasn't a very long series. It's just sometimes they're hard to come by. So like I said, I wanted to jump on this. I'm trying to fill out all the different volumes of Moon Knight, and this was one I needed. Next up is a Doctor Strange comic that I found, and a big reason I grabbed this, I try to talk to you guys about why did I grab this book. This book I grabbed because of the cover. I do like Doctor Strange. I'm not an avid collector of him, but this cover just blew me away. It's basically Ghost Rider, and I think the Spirit of Vengeance is in this. There's a storyline, Damnation, where they're kind of dealing with that. But yeah, this was a cool cover by Rod Reese. And this issue is number 3, came out in 2018. So it was one of those impulse, it's $1. I'm going to grab this cool cover. And some of you know Rod Reese because he's doing that Ghost Machine stuff with Geiger and Jeff Johns and building out that new world. So I'm a fan of his art, and finding some of his older stuff is very cool to add. Next up, I have already showed this artist, but this is why I got this. This is Alex Ross cover for Astro City 3D. Now, this is a one-shot. It came out in 1997, and it's written by Kurt Busiek. And like I said, Alex Ross did the covers for this. And what I thought was neat about this is you see inside it's 3D. But look, they got the glasses in here still. Very cool to find the glasses still in here. It's one of those, I guess, gimmicky things that I haven't seen in a long time. So I'm just curious to see if the glasses work. I mean, if you squint hard enough, it looks okay, right? But yeah, kind of interesting, different one to add to the collection. And then kind of sticking with some independents, we have this one. I was recommended by a fellow collector, this series, older series by Dark Horse Comics, The American. I found 1, 2, 3, and 4 of the series. I think it's a 12-issue series. Came out in 1987. This is written by Mark Verheiden, and Chris Warner did the art on this. And if I remember right, I mean, it's cool. It's old, typical black and white 80s type of indie. So this was right at the start of Dark Horse, which is kind of cool. But if I remember the storyline, this character he's given kind of like, like your Captain America super soldier powers, but he gets, I think the original guy gets killed in the series, and they just like bring up another guy to give the same serum. So they just kind of keep, burning through them. So I'm interested to check this out. Let me know, guys, if I have the backstory of this one wrong, but I think this was one that I was recommended. It sounded interesting, the premise. So I was, for $1, I'm going to give it a try. All right, halfway there, guys. Here's my 5th pick for my 10 for 10. And this one, I have a collection of animal comics, like, your Hamster Vice and Turtles and stuff. And I saw this one. I instantly picked it up. I never heard of this. Samurai Penguin. I need a penguin that's a samurai. That's the only reason I got this. And this is number 3, came out in 1987. And it's by a company called Slave Labor Graphics. Never heard of that one. I'll try it out, see if this is interesting. I mean, it's one of those oddball, like I said, animal comics. I like getting, like, what else have I gotten? Fish Police. And I think in the 80s, there was a lot of companies trying to capitalize on the Turtles' success. So I had to get this one. And then going back to Dark Horse, I am a fan of Buffy. I missed out on this whole thing that Josh Whedon was doing. This came out in the late 2000s. So this is number 1 of Buffy season 8. Now, what this is, season 8 is Josh Whedon continuing the TV show's like storyline. And I know he did it for a couple seasons. They called it seasons. But this is 1E, so this is actually a second printing of it. That came out in 2007. And like I said, Josh Whedon was the writer, and this cover is Joe Chen. Very cool, painterly, and it almost has an anime look to it. And I know the covers were this way for quite a while. But yeah, like I said, I'm going to read it, see if maybe I like it. Maybe I'll pick up some more. I'm thinking I might, because I am a fan of Buffy. We'll see. For $1, I'm going to give it a whirl, though. Getting down to it, this one is a Superman Batman number 1 variant. This is the B cover. I already have the A cover, which is Superman. And this is from the 2003 series of these two, written by Jeff Loeb and art by Edward McGuinness. Now, yeah, this is a series that I inherited from my wife's brother, and I have been slowly trying to fill it out. I am almost done filling this one out, but if I see a variant of number 1, I'm going to pick it up. It just adds to the collection. And yeah, it's very cool to this was one of the ones I looked down, saw it, had to have it. This one next up is Batgirl number 45 from volume 1, 2003. I thought this cover it jumped out at me. I like the graphic nature of this with the dark lines and stuff like that. And then like your old spot coloring in the background, kind of a throwback to old comics. But this was very cool to pick up. And this is Cassandra Cain, Batgirl. So I don't really know a whole bunch about this character. I know she's the main character in the new Batgirl series that's out on the shelves now. So I'm curious to learn a little bit more about her. I just thought this was a cool cover by James Jean is the artist, I believe. And yeah, it just is one of those ones you thumb through and it jumps out at you. So I had to get this one. And then speaking of ones that you had to get, I saw this one. It's a variant cover from the new 52 Batgirl. This is volume 4. So this is number 40C, and it came out in 2015. Now, this is a cover by Babs Tarr. And why I got it? Well, because it's a Comic Expo C2E2 exclusive cover. Now, there's a couple different ones. When I looked this up, there was some with the green trade, I think the blue trade, and they are all special covers for different conventions around the U.S. So I think one was San Diego Comic-Con. I think another one was maybe Emerald Con. I think that was the green one. So, yeah, I thought it was a cool one to add to the collection. I'm starting to pick up cool covers from the Batgirl series. I'm not a huge Batman guy, but I do like Batgirl, and if I see a cool cover, I'm going to pick it up. And then finally, this was the last one. This is an issue for Final Crisis. This is number 3 that came out in 2008. Gee, why did I get this one, guys? Well, you guys, if you've been watching the channel lately, I have been going kind of goofy for Supergirl. I have always been partial to Superman, but I really do like Supergirl. And this one's written by Grant Morrison, art by J.G. Jones. And I know they did a couple cool covers for Final Crisis. I think there's a Flash one where it was centered on a certain character. Now, this cover is very cool. It's kind of a painterly style. I almost wish it didn't have all this text on it. It was like a Virgin type of thing. There may be one out there. I don't know. I'll see if I can find one. But very cool to add to the collection. I'm going to probably put this in my Supergirl collection and not the Final Crisis, keep a separate thing. Because it was a straight cover buy. So, but that is my 10 for 10. So let's go ahead and wrap this video up. Well, there you go, guys. I hope you enjoyed my big mega haul that I got at the Comic Buying Center's Black Saturday sale. Like I said, it's the holiday season. We got to hit those sales, right? It's hard to resist big sales like that and, also get presents for everybody else. You got to get presents for yourself once in a while, right? Guys, let me know down below in the comments what you thought of this. Give me a subscription, a thumbs up if you could. I appreciate it. And let me know down below, like I said, what you thought of this haul. I mean, I got some cool big books. I got, just my general digging wish list stuff to fill out some of those runs that I got. And finally, I hope you guys enjoyed my patented 10 for 10. Did I find some good stuff in the 10 for 10? Did you like any of the other stuff that I found? Let me know down below in the comments. And while you're at it, I have a Instagram account. If you want to visit me over there, you can check out some of the Christmas covers I'm posting right now. Give me a thumbs up. I'd also appreciate it there. Any kind of love shows me that I'm doing a good job, that you guys actually kind of like what I'm showing off, because I kind of do this just for fun. Well, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. And you know what? I'm going to get out of here and start wrapping some of my actual presents. And while you're out there digging through long boxes and visiting your local comic stores, I hope you find some of those great deals out there. And happy questing, and we'll talk to you next time.